Urban legends and terrifying myths of all kinds seem to surface from all around the world as reports of strange, supernatural, paranormal, and extraterrestrial accounts spread through a town or region like wildfire. Some of these urban legends tend to never leave the region in which they first began, whereas others might make national headlines all around the world in their appearance. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be covering 5 terrifying urban legends that come from the country of Ukraine and their strange origins. The Blackbird of Chernobyl. According to the residents of the town of Pripyat, there had been a number of reports and claims of a strange winged creature often seen flying over the town late at night on a variety of different occasions. In the case of the workers at the Chernobyl power plant, however, there appeared to be much more alarming reports that were provided. In the months leading up to the Chernobyl incident on the 26th of April back in 1986, the workers at the Chernobyl power plant noticed the same creature, reported throughout the town of Pripyat, hovering over the plant and sometimes even resting on the large towers and areas of the construction. What grew more perplexing for the workers were the reported number of incidents of which people often claimed to have experienced harrowing nightmares of the creature that would manifest into threatening phone calls from unknown numbers calling them all throughout the night. Many residents of Pripyat and the workers at the Chernobyl power plant often described the creature as resembling the shape of a man with wings and piercing, glowing red eyes. This creature would later be referred to as the Blackbird of Chernobyl, and similar to the cases involving that of the Mothman, would cease to exist in the region shortly after the Chernobyl incident. The Chernobyl incident is known worldwide as one of the largest tragedies, seen as potentially the most environmentally damaging of its time. Although it appeared that the governments of the world were ready and prepared when it occurred, the event still saw more than 50,000 square miles of land contaminated with radioactive fallout and being made completely unusable for the foreseeable future. Scientists today speculate that the site of the town of Pripyat and Chernobyl will not be habitable for another 20,000 years. It could very well be that the creature had been the Mothman creature widely known throughout the United States, as it was warning the workers of an impending doom that could have left a much larger amount of land completely uninhabitable for much longer. The Bald Mountain of Ukraine. Though many might not be aware, Ukraine's history has long since been associated with one of the most powerful witch covens to have ever existed from around the world that rivals even the old stories involving Scandinavian magic and Irish witchcraft. They were referred to as the Sabbat and formed in the year 988 when the area, then ruled by the Knyaz Vladimir the Great, converted his people from worshipping the old pagan gods to worshipping one god as an adopted form of Christianity. This led to many of the witches at the time, of whom gathered their power and strength in the belief of the pagan gods, to turn away from doing good acts to grow their power and instead to turn to the only figure in the Christian religion capable of repairing their magical powers once again. This led to the witches forming the Sabbat Coven, of which was a coven dedicated to the worship of Satan and the use of evil deeds and harm to slowly grow their favor with Satan to gain more power. In an attempt to conceal their meetings, the coven would meet atop the Bald Mountain of Ukraine, known as Lysa Hora, and would host 3 meetings a year to discuss their evil deeds and new evils they could perform to grow their power. As time went on, the legends never died as the coven became some of the most powerful in the world. During the rise of the Soviet Union, however, this led to many government officials to hunt down and imprison any people of whom were seen practicing black magic of any kind, and led to, what many people presume, the end of the covens of Ukraine. Regardless of this claim, however, there are many people of whom still believe that the coven exists today, in secret. According to legends surrounding Lysa Hora, 3 times of the year, there rolls a dense fog in which anyone of whom attempts to enter will always find themselves leaving the mountain rather than ever reaching its peak, where a presumed meeting of the witches is held. Others claim that if you enter the fog with the intention of selling your soul to Satan, he will greet you and grant you fantasies for the fair exchange of your immortal soul. The hauntings of Chernobyl. The world is well aware of the tragedy experienced at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant back in 1986, but are not as well versed with the strange reports taken back in 1997, when researchers went back to the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in an attempt to uncover any further secrets or information that could help to shed some light on the tragedy and the cause of the explosion. A part of the small research team was a nuclear physicist by the name of Andrei Karzhikov that claimed a number of supernatural and explainable phenomena during his time investigating the location. He claimed that as he had entered the power station at roughly 7:30 a.m., he went to the number 4 reactor sarcophagus, the location in which the explosion had occurred, to try to piece together what had occurred on that fateful day back in 1986. As he was looking around and gathering information that could help him better understand what had happened, he quickly lost focus as he heard a man screaming from inside the reactor control room, claiming that there was a fire and that he was trapped. Karzhikov quickly ran to the control room, opened the doors and went inside only to find an empty room with nothing around. He then told his colleagues what had occurred, and they clarified that the doors hadn't been opened for over 3 years, and that, had someone entered the room, the alarm would have gone off that indicates when the reactor door is opened mechanically. Other details of the report include floodlights suddenly turning on and then off again, strange sightings of moving figures, screaming and sounds of running, as well as claims of strange power surges throughout the area. The Black Volga. Though the legend itself is not isolated to just that of the country of Ukraine, the story of the Black Volga seems to appear all across the ex-Soviet countries that served as satellite nations to the Soviet Union. The urban legend itself has seen many iterations, with some claiming a governmental conspiracy, black market crime, and even a supernatural presence entirely. According to the legend of the Black Volga, if you find yourself walking around town late at night, you could find yourself being stalked by a Black Volga vehicle that will attempt to coerce you into entering the vehicle, or will send men to drag you in if you refuse. When inside the Black Volga, these men will then begin to harvest your organs to be used for others that are willing to pay a large sum of money to get a replacement organ. Some claim that the car had been driven by the KGB. Others claim mafias and criminal organizations as being at the center, and one such iteration claims that the person driving the vehicle is that of the devil himself, ready to gather the souls of those that are lost across Eastern Europe well past nightfall. The Belgorod-Dnistrovsky Fortress. One of the most popular tourist destinations in Ukraine, the Belgorod-Dnistrovsky Fortress holds with it a terrifying history that has left many wondering what could have been housed deep in the dungeons of one of the largest castles in Ukraine. According to the collections of legends from 2 ethnographers local to the region, Vladislav Chelpanov and Savar Skyler, there were many legends involving that of horned men living in the dungeons of the fortress only to come out and attack surrounding people during the night. In fact, one of these legends included historical accounts gathered from the Ottoman Empire that recorded back in 1957, when the city had temporarily belonged to the Ottoman Empire, the Turks worked to rebuild the fortress at the time and came across an entrance to some hidden caves inside the moat of the castle. When they entered the cave, they discovered enlarged human-like heads with bones that seemed far more massive than that of normal human beings, believing that there had been monsters potentially living in the caves. These claims and legends led to the State University of Odessa sending a small expedition team that included the director of the Underground Paleontological Museum, Konstantin Pronin, the chairman of the Interregional Group on the Study of Mysteries, Andrei Pereplitsyn, and a KP correspondent of whom was sent to record all thoughts and opinions, Andrei Moisenko. Shortly after the incident, many of the groups believed that perhaps there, at one time, existed a hidden group of Australopithecus that had evolved to live in the miles of catacombs and dungeons underneath that castle that have not yet been fully explored. Still, even today, there are claims of large horned people leaving the fortress at night and attacking anyone of whom gets too close. But what do you all think of these strange and unexplainable urban legends found all across the country of Ukraine? Be sure to let us know in the comments down below, and be sure to share your answers and questions about the video to help grow our community and share insightful comments about the nature of these topics. Hopefully, as we continue to grow our community, we will one day be able to solve these unexplainable mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.